Welcome to Big Faces Worldwide, where we talking nothing but this boxing, man. What's good with your fam? Hey, listen, man, first off, I want to welcome everybody to the channel. And like I always say, fam, if you're new here, I want you to be here. So think about hitting that subscribe button as we stay knee deep into this boxing conversation, man. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Nacho Berenstein, the Hall of Fame trainer out of Mexico, who has trained many world champions like the Rafael and Juan Manuel Marquez. He trained Oscar De La Hoya, Chavez Jr., Johnny Gonzalez, Abner Mares. I mean, the list goes on and on, man. He's highly respected in the boxing community, man. I think this guy's like he got to be in his 80s, man. He's been around for decades in the sport, man, and has seen and done it all in the sport of boxing, man. He was inducted into the World Boxing Hall of Fame, I believe, in 2006. International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2010. He's definitely to be respected in the sport of boxing. Now, he has came out and said a little bit about Canelo Alvarez. He says that he does not think Canelo is one of the best coming out of Mexico, nor is he a pound for pound fighter, nor will he ever be. He recently done an interview with Boxing Scene, man, and I'm gonna read you a couple quotes that was picked up from Nacho, man. He said, "I defer from this opinion. I respect him, but I disagree. I think it's going to be a little difficult for him to end up being one of the best fighters to come out of Mexico. He is a good fighter, no doubt about that. I particularly feel how he boxes is attractive, but for him to be the best pound for pound, he's not, and he's not going to be." He goes on to say, "I think they are intelligently invading some middleweight fighters who may harm him and are taking care of his career because they are making a lot of money. To a certain extent, it's good, but I think he is not the best." Berenstein, he didn't bite his tongue about this, man. He talked about how he feels that Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy Promotions, they are moving him strategically along, man. And fight fans may wonder, is he right? Does he have a point? Now, you hear all this talk about how great Canelo's resume is. He's a pound for pound fighter. You hear it amongst boxers, amongst reporters, amongst boxing insiders. Everybody thinks that, Canelo is at the top of the pound for pound list, if not in the top 5. But when you really honestly take a look at his resume, man, let's take a look after Floyd Mayweather defeated him. After Floyd Mayweather defeated him, let's look at the fights that Canelo Alvarez had. After Floyd Mayweather beat him, he went on to fight Angolu. Now, Angolu is not an elite fighter. You understand? Let's just put it out there. He is not an elite fighter. He really has nothing to match up inside the ring with Canelo Alvarez. So Canelo Alvarez made short work of Angolu. Now, would you put Angolu on any top 10 list? Any top 20 list? You understand what I'm saying? Would you put Angolu in there with the best middleweights in the world? No, you wouldn't. Best junior middleweights in the world? No, you wouldn't. Has he had a Hall of Fame career? I don't think so. And then you look at Beristain de Lara. Now, Lara's a smaller guy. You know what I'm saying? Canelo was bigger than him. You know what I mean? And a lot of people actually think that Lara beat Canelo Alvarez. Now, it was a very, very close fight. Lara started off fast, you know what I mean? Using a lot of lateral movement, in and out, stinging Canelo, ping, ping, ping. But it was in them later rounds that Canelo started catching him to the body, started, touching him a whole lot more, man, and kind of even things up, man. However, he walked away with a victory. But when you look at the landscape of things, many people thought he lost, and Lara was a smaller guy. But you can consider Lara, a really good fighter. So that was a good fight. So we have Angolo and Lara. Lara was a good fight. Then you had James Kirkland. James Kirkland is not an elite fighter. James Kirkland has been known to be undisciplined, not very serious about the sport. Golden Boy and Canelo made all type of stipulations in this fight. They did not allow the great Ann Wolfe, who is James Kirkland's trainer, to train him for this fight. Now, I never heard of that in my life. You understand what I'm saying? When a stipulation is in the contract that a trainer cannot train a fighter, what type of shit is that? You understand what I'm saying? That's crazy, man. That's crazy. However, James Kirkland got knocked out by Canelo in a very exciting fight. But again, James Kirkland is not an elite fighter. Then he fought a Miguel Cotto, a smaller Miguel Cotto, past his prime Miguel Cotto. I was actually at that fight in November of 2015 at the Mandalay Bay. Very, very good atmosphere. Very mixed crowd. A lot of people going for Cotto, a lot of people going for Canelo. I thought it was a very good fight. But I do think that Canelo won the fight. I thought it was a very competitive fight. But Canelo's power punches seemed to affect Cotto a lot more than Cotto's punches affected him. Cotto did not agree with the decision, didn't stick around for the post-fight interview, walked out the ring, stormed out the building, and had nothing to say more about the fight. He thought he was robbed. But it was a good fight, man. Canelo got that victory. But again, Miguel Cotto was a smaller man, definitely past his prime. Then he fought Amir Khan. Amir Khan coming up in weight, definitely a smaller man. I mean, without a doubt, a smaller man. Amir Khan is a guy who has known to be knocked out, has been knocked out, several times before, known to be glass jaw. Canelo Alvarez actually was losing that fight, in my opinion. I believe that Amir Khan was outboxing Canelo until he ended up getting caught. What was that? I believe it was the 6th round. So we have Angulo, Lara, James Kirkland, Miguel Cotto, and Amir Khan. Out of those fighters, do you consider any of them elite? I'm going to go on. And then after Amir Khan, he fought Liam Smith out of the UK. Now, Liam Smith was definitely outclassed in this fight. Liam Smith had no business being in there with Canelo Alvarez. Liam Smith is not an elite fighter. You could see it from the jump that Liam Smith didn't deserve to be in there with Canelo. He has never faced anyone in the area of Canelo Alvarez. He was actually a smaller man also. I believe he was a 154 fighter coming up to 160. Then he fought Chavez. Now we all know Chavez, man. He doesn't take the sport seriously. He's not really dedicated to his craft. He drained Chavez down to 160. This is a guy who had fought before that at 175. He had fought, I believe, Fonfara. He quit on the stool against Fonfara, and then he came down to 160 to fight 162, something like that, to fight Canelo Alvarez. However you slice it, he was a drained fighter. Now, you look at Angulo, Lara, James Kirkland, Miguel Cotto, Amir Khan, Liam Smith, and Chavez Jr. Now, out of that list, I'm going to give him credit for Miguel Cotto, which was a smaller guy, and Beristain Lara, who was a smaller guy, who many may argue that he won that fight. Then you got to take a look at Triple G was after Chavez. This was the first Triple G fight, man. It was a very, very good fight. Many boxing pundits thought that Triple G won this fight. They gave Canelo a draw in this fight. I definitely had Triple G winning this fight. It was a very good fight. Triple G was landing that jab like it was Canelo connected to his forehead, man. His jab was impeccable in this fight, man. Canelo Alvarez was doing a lot of running. He was doing a lot of holding, and he really didn't want to engage in Triple G in this first fight, man. Then after Triple G, you had the Rocky Fielding fight, where he was supposed to jump up in weight classes to win this secondary WBA title. Now, Rocky Fielding came in with a record of 27-1. He was 32 years old, pretty much in his prime, but he was no match for Canelo Alvarez, and everybody's seen it. It was very obvious from the door, man. From the door that Rocky Fielding didn't deserve to be in there with Canelo. Canelo chopped him down like a tree, and the rest is history. He went on to win that title, and they crowned him with winning another weight division, winning the title in another weight division. Now, after Rocky Fielding, it came Danny Jacobs. Now, Danny Jacobs and Canelo was a very good fight. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that Canelo won this fight. He did what he had to do and beat Danny Jacobs. I definitely give him credit, all the credit in the world, for winning against Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs is a very solid fighter. I would consider Danny Jacobs on the elite level, so Canelo Alvarez definitely gets credit for Danny Jacobs. And his last fight, he going up in more weight, up to 175 against the crusher, Sergey Kovalev. Now, everybody knows Sergey Kovalev is definitely on the downside of his career. He has been knocked out by later Alvarez, stopped by Andre Ward, and he had 3 losses on his record at the time. No, he had 2 losses on his record coming in. He was 37 years old, man. You know what I mean? He was an old guy, man. 37. Canelo was 29 years old. It's no secret that Sergey Kovalev loves to drink that vodka. You know what I'm saying? Loves his vodka, loves his partying, and he'll quit later on in the fight. I think personally that Sergey Kovalev was bullshitting around, although that he was winning the fight. He was pretty much pity-patting Canelo Alvarez in the fight, man. Pity-patting, throwing these little weak-ass punches, but I still think he was outboxing Canelo. Canelo was just stepping right to him, walking right through his punches, and in the 10th round, he ended up catching him and knocking Kovalev out. Now, many boxing pundits, many people around the boxing community suspect that Kovalev took a dive, and it doesn't help that after the fight, Kovalev comes out and says, there was no way that I was going to win that fight. He had just came off a victory, a really, really, really hard-fought victory against Anthony Yarde. It was a life or death fight. That fight was really good, man. And he only had like 8, 9, 10 weeks between. You know what I'm saying? So his body didn't have a chance to heal. So he pretty much said it. There was no way I was going to win this fight, and anybody that thought I was going to win this fight is a fool. That's exactly what he said. You know what I mean? So he had no intentions on winning this fight. He went into this fight expecting to lose. Now, out of those names I named, Angolu, Lara, James Kirkland, Miguel Cotto, Amir Khan, Liam Smith, Chavez, Triple G, Rocky Fielding, Danny Jacobs, and Sergey Kovalev. Who's elite on that list? How many top fighters on that list? And all these fighters are fights after taking a loss to Floyd Mayweather Jr. Now, I look at this list, man, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 names there. Now, out of them 11 names, I'm going to say Danny Jacobs. I'll consider him elite. Triple G, although I consider him elite, he was definitely a little bit past his prime. Miguel Cotto, I consider him an elite fighter. Definitely past his prime on the downside, a smaller guy coming up, and Erislandy Lara. So out of 11 fighters, I give him four wins, man, and some of them are debatable. So this bears the question: is Canelo Alvarez really a pound-for-pound fighter? Is Canelo Alvarez really one of the best fighters coming out of Mexico ever? Nacho Berenstein, the great. Let me put that. Let me put emphasis on the great Nacho Berenstein. Does not think so. You know, he does not think so. And I'll put the link in the description. You could check it out for yourself. You know, there's no biting his tongue. Nacho says what he means and means what he say. But it's up for you, you know what I'm saying? It's up for you to decide. You know, a lot of people look at the numbers that Canelo brings in, and without a doubt, Canelo Alvarez is definitely, you know, the biggest draw in the sport of boxing right now, in my opinion. He definitely brings a lot of fans. You know, he definitely makes them click that button. He makes them, you know, hand over that cash at the ticket booth, and he's going to put asses in the seat. But as far as being a pound for pound fighter, that's still up for debate. I do think that personally, now, you know, everything I said to you was just facts. You know, it was me stating the facts. Now I'm going to give my personal opinion. Personally, I think Canelo Alvarez is a very good fighter. I've watched him, you know, fight after fight, improve and get better, fight after fight. You know what I'm saying? Although I said there's only 4 fighters who I would consider elite, out of these 11 fighters after he fought Floyd, I gotta say that the way Canelo fought them, you know what I mean, the way he fought them was some great shit. You know what I mean? Canelo Alvarez definitely did his thing, especially in the second Gennady Golovkin fight. You know, I gotta love that fight there, man. You know what I mean? But listen, man, that's all I got, man. It's up to you to decide. If you want to leave a comment in the comment section, we could definitely chop it up about it. If there's enough people who further want to talk about it, I'll do a live stream, and maybe you can come on the show. We could do a, you know, StreamYards or whatever you want to do. I'll bring you on, and you know, we could chop it up about it, man. But listen, that's all I got for now. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to share and like this video. Go over to Twitter, Instagram. Check me out at Big Faces Worldwide, all one word. But in the meantime and in between time, stay blessed and keep on supporting the sport that we love called boxing. Peace. I'll holla back.